Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you've ever felt like the room was spinning even though you were perfectly still, you're not alone. Today, we're gonna dive into something that could be the reason you've been feeling dizzy: benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, or BPPV for short. But before you start zoning out, thinking this is just another boring medical topic, let me stop you right there. Trust me, this is important, and understanding it could save you a lot of unnecessary frustration. Now, when we talk about vertigo, most people just think, okay, I'm dizzy, and call it a day. But vertigo isn't just one thing, it's a group of different issues, and it's really important to know which kind you're dealing with. You've probably heard of central vertigo, right? That's the one that can be linked to more serious stuff like strokes or brain issues. But today, we're not talking about central vertigo, we're focusing on the more common type, peripheral vertigo, specifically BPPV, which is a lot less scary, but still pretty frustrating. So, let's break it down. BPPV, what does it even mean? Well, let's start with the basics. Benign means it's not life-threatening, thank goodness. Paroxysmal means that the dizziness comes on suddenly. Positional refers to how the dizziness is triggered by movement, like when you turn your head or lay down. And vertigo is that spinning sensation, like you're in a roller coaster ride, but you're actually just sitting still. Sounds wild, right? And trust me, it feels just as wild when you experience it. Here's the kicker. BPPV happens when tiny calcium crystals in your inner ear, which are supposed to stay in a specific spot, get loose and move around. These little crystals throw off the balance sensors in your ear, and that's what makes you feel like you're spinning when you're not. So yeah, it's just a few rogue crystals causing all this chaos in your head. But here's the thing, central vertigo is a whole different ball game. With central vertigo, the issue comes from your brain or brainstem, and it's usually linked to more serious conditions, like a stroke or other neurological problems. So, if you're feeling dizzy and it's more than just a little spin, you should definitely get it checked out to rule out central vertigo. But for now, let's keep it simple and talk about BPPV, which, thankfully, is less dangerous. Okay, so how do you know if you have BPPV? Well, one of the easiest ways to check is by doing the Dizziness test. Now, I'm not a doctor, so don't just do this on your own without talking to one first. But here's the gist. You lay down quickly, tilt your head back, and turn it to one side. If you start feeling dizzy, and your eyes start twitching, that's called nystagmus, then it's likely you have BPPV. But remember, if it's not going away, or if you're feeling other symptoms, make sure you see a doctor, because it could be central vertigo. But let's go back to BPPV. The cool thing about this condition is that it's treatable. One of the most common treatments is something called the Epley maneuver. It's a series of head movements that help get those calcium crystals back where they belong. It sounds simple, but trust me, it works. So here's how it goes. First, you turn your head to the side where you feel the dizziness. Hold that position for a bit. Then, you move to the next position, and so on. The idea is to move the crystals out of the area that's causing the dizziness and back into the spot where they belong. It's all about using gravity to help shift those little crystals around. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Turns out, there's a link between BPPV and vitamin D deficiency. Yup, studies have found that people with low vitamin D levels are more likely to experience BPPV. Why? Because vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium. So, if you are low on vitamin D, your body might have trouble managing calcium properly, and that's when those crystals can get out of control. But the good news? You can fix it. Get your vitamin D levels up, and it can help prevent those crystals from causing trouble in the future. But let's not forget about central vertigo again. I want to bring this up because if you're dealing with dizziness that doesn't match the symptoms of BPPV, it could be a sign of central vertigo, which requires immediate medical attention. If your dizziness comes with things like double vision, slurred speech, weakness, or a headache that won't quit, don't hesitate, call your doctor right away. The difference between peripheral vertigo and central vertigo could be huge, and you want to make sure you're getting the right diagnosis. So, once you've nailed down that you have BPPV, what's next? First of all, you want to make sure you're getting enough vitamin D. If you're not getting it through food or sunlight, it's time to start taking a supplement. But don't just stop there, you also need vitamin K too. K2 helps calcium get to the right places in your body, like your bones, and prevents it from hanging around in your soft tissues, like your inner ear. So if you're not getting enough vitamin K2, you might not be maximizing the benefits of your vitamin D. Now, about the Epley maneuver, you don't have to do it every day once your symptoms go away. But it's not a bad idea to keep doing it a couple of times a week if you've had BPPV before. It's an easy way to prevent the crystals from misbehaving again. Plus, it's a simple, non-invasive treatment, so why not give it a try? But here's something I really want you to take away from this video. If you think you're dealing with central vertigo, please see a doctor as soon as possible. Central vertigo is a whole different beast, and it's not something you want to mess around with. It's always better to be safe and get checked out if you have any doubts. So, let's wrap this up. Dizziness is no joke, and whether you have BPPV or central vertigo, it's always a good idea to get to the bottom of it. If you have BPPV, there are treatments that can help, like the Epley maneuver and getting enough vitamin D and K2. If you're experiencing more serious symptoms, don't hesitate to check in with your doctor to rule out central vertigo. At the end of the day, what's most important is your health. So take care of yourself, stay safe, and remember that if you ever feel unsure, don't hesitate to ask for help. I hope this video gave you a little more clarity on what BPPV is, how to deal with it, and why it's so important to know the difference between central vertigo and peripheral vertigo. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more info on how to take care of your health. Catch you next time.